أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء فأخرجنا به ثمرات مختلفا ألوانها ومن الجبال جدد بيض وحمر مختلف ألوانها وغرابيب سود ومن الناس والدواب والأنعام مختلفا ألوانه كذلك إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء إن الله عزيز غفور. These verses we have been discussing during the past few weeks, and today it is the 11th video about these two verses of Surah Annaba, Alam naj'al arda mihadan wal jibala awtada. So now in this 11th video, will be discussing about the mountains, because there is a verse which says wal jibala awtada, but in meaning it is alam najalil jibal. Have we not made the mountains? So Allah is asking us that we should consider that Allah has made the mountains and what are its benefits and what are its blessings for the human being and everything. So Allah has mentioned about mountains in different ways. In this verse it is Al-Jibal Autada. We have made mountains at peaks. But another verse which we are mainly discussing, so Allah has presented the mountain as ومن الجبال جدد بيض وحمر مختلف ألوانها وغرابيب سود. Allah says that the mountain we have white and red and with different color, and also with black shades also there. So these their colors are all different. So while explaining this verse, I have quoted you earlier that Sheikh Maududi informed that this verse is about the variety, about the uniqueness. By showing the different colors of the mountains, Allah is pointing out to us to consider why there are different colors. Is those colors only painting? No. The very nature, the very nature of the mountain is different with different colors. On same mountain, but colors different. So it shows that there is a variety and there is a uniqueness. Every mountain is different and has different colors. Allah has also mentioned colors about the human beings in the next ayah, about the different colors of beasts, different colors of animals. But regarding the mountain, here given a complete sentence with describing the detail that it is white and black and red. And then there are different shades. White, so for example, 10% and 80% red and 5% black. Like this, there can be different shades with a mixture. Then again, it will be a new color. So in case of other things, we can have some doubt that if there are two men, white men, but there is a difference in both of them. So we cannot distinguish what is the difference between the whiteness of one man and whiteness of the other man. If there are two black men, So very difficult to see what is the difference in the blackishness of the one and the blackishness of the other. But in case of mountains, it is very clear and everybody can understand it is black or white or red or what color it is. It's a very big thing. In the small thing like ants also, every ant may be having different color or every fruit may be having different color. But in the case of the fruits of the same tree, it becomes difficult sometimes to distinguish what is the difference. But if you look at the mountain, it is easy that the difference of color it may becomes clear. The point is that this difference is being pointed out. It is this fact that everything is different and unique. So this point of uniqueness is the main point of discussion here. So why I'm taking so much time on this is because that since 19th and 20th and 21st century, the biggest wrong faith is that we have lost faith in Allah, we have lost faith in God, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, and we have developed faith that God, Newton, as I told before, first of all, Newton gave the concept of a mechanical universe, that everything is moving on a mechanical basis. So God has made a machine, and Nauzubillah, he has slept. Then Darwin came, his theory was still more effective in taking people away from religion. And in America, they are fighting with the Darwinists. There are two groups. He says that all this phenomena of living things is also a result of the evolution, a result of the struggle, survival of the fittest, and things like that. And they are all going on automatically. There is no God to create anything. Nauzubillah, there is no need of any God. These things are developing themselves, and even man was an animal before. It from monkey it became chimpanzee. From chimpanzee, a human being has come out because the DNA of chimpanzee and human being only 2% difference, and the hemoglobin of chimpanzee and human being is 100% same. And many things are same, but only that 1-2% difference is making a very big difference. When you see the chimpanzee and when you see human being, you can find a lot of big differences. But anyhow, evolution says that a man has developed with these things. And from the lower things, it is not from Allah and not from Adam and Eve. So this type of belief has become so common that people during the last 2-3 centuries are going away and away from religion. They don't feel any need of God. Before this, until 19th century, there was some sort of belief in God, and whether right or wrong, but they used to believe in some supernatural force. But after this 19th and 20th and 21st century, God has become nauzubillah unnecessary. Even without God, everything is going on, everything is moving, everything is going completely okay. So this way, these two concepts, I had talked about them in detail in the previous video 10. But again, still there is a lot because it's a very very profound mistake and very profound wrong thing, which is extremely damaging our faith in God. So still some more things I want to say that God has of course made a machine. We don't deny it. God says in Quran, I have quoted before, وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا. Whatever He has made uncertain laws, and they are moving according to laws. وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. And we have bound the sun and moon, and they are moving in the path which we have decided for them. They are moving under our control and on a certain path which we have decided for them. So, of course, everything, there is a law and we accept it, and Allah has made those laws. But in case of Newton concept, so many people now think that, oh, okay, this universe is moving itself and there is no need of any God. If was a God who made a good machine and he has now slept. So we think he has not slept and he has made a machine, but he is controlling that machine. And what to bring out of that machine, he is deciding every time. For example, he decided there should be, he decided in this way how the rain falls. The law he make that winds, for example, go to hot winds go moving here and there, and they move toward the seas, oceans, and from there, because they are hot, they take water, and it becomes clouds. Then those clouds go on moving, and they make rainfall. This is the law of how a rainfall is made. It is in a machine-like way. The winds go over seas and oceans. They become clouds and cloud waves. This is the law. But from this machine of making rainfall, Allah decides where to make rainfall, where not to make. Where to make this rainfall as a typhoon, and where to make it as just normal. Those clouds pass from many countries, but there is no rainfall. And in some countries, there is too much rainfall. So that machine is producing, of course, under a law of rainfall, but it is producing in a under the control of law, and the whatever it is producing, it is all under the control of law, and Allah is controlling. All the laws are like this. I can give many examples. For example, Allah has made mountains, because we are discussing mountains, and we have discussed about many blessings of the mountains. One of them, for example, we have discussed that it is the source of big rivers. The rivers which are River Nile and River what we call Frat, and there is a River Rhine in Paris and River Thames in London. And in India, there are very big rivers, Ganga, Jamuna, and Brahmaputra. All of them are mostly started from mountains during the summer season. A lot of ice, no, during the cold season, lot of ice becomes assembles on the mountain peaks, and during the summer it starts to melt down. When it starts to melt, then it becomes a river, and those rivers go on flowing until they go far away, and they also finish when they meet with some ocean someplace. So this is a law of rivers. Rivers, how the rivers are made, how and how they are making a source of a lot of growing food. So, but law of making of river is a machine, and a machine made a style that mountains are doing this thing. But this machine, where to make those rivers, which area the rivers will flow, and which area they will be able to make food and vegetables, grow fruitables. In India, for example, from Himalaya, the big rivers, Ganga, Jamuna, Brahmaputra are flowing, but they are flowing in different directions from different districts. So all these things have been decided by Allah. Allah, they are all flowing under a law of how the rivers are made, scientific law. But the what this machine is producing and where it has to make effect, these are all decided by Allah, where the rivers will flow, to whom, in which countries it will go, in which areas these rivers will flow, in which area it will not flow. All these decisions are made by Allah. He is controlling everything, and it is all under his, it is not sleeping. And mostly, and it is not bound by those laws. There are miracles. And it is a law that in the river, if a man falls, then he will die. He will be drowned. But Allah made a miracle. Musa alayhi salam and his people, they went away safely. They crossed the Nile River safely. And even despite thousands of years, hundreds of years, they are still celebrating it. An event which occurred them about 3,000 years ago, today they are celebrating as a holiday Exodus. They call it Exodus, that we were saved from the atrocities of Pharaoh by this river. River made a path. In this miracle, the river did not follow the law, did not follow the machine law that it should flow. It should not be partitioned, but it was partitioned. That is how Allah is controlling everything. He has not slept, and He is controlling everything. And same thing, for example, Allah has made a law for reproduction. He has made man and women and male and female in everything. It is with this mechanism of male and female that reproduction, that those things go on reproducing themselves. Otherwise, the population will finish if there is no reproduction. For the sake of reproduction, in everything, Allah has made these things. And in Surah Yasin, it says, سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. That is, it is glory for the God who has made everything in azwaj, in pairs, in male and female. And even in mimba tumbetulat, what is being grown from the vegetables or from the earth, even there are male and female. And we normally, we did not know that even the vegetables are male and female. So this we came to know only recently in 18th, 19th century. For the last 1300, 1400 years, we did not know because science was not developed and did not know that there are male and female even in the vegetables. But Allah said that we have made the male and female, and we have now discovered it after the development of science. And but in human being also and every animal also, there are male and female, and without this process, it is all going on. But to whom there will be son or daughter, or there will be no son or no daughter, nobody knows. There are many couples that don't have any children. They are always praying and going here and there to have some children. To some people, Allah gives children even at the old age, like He gave to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam when he was 100, and Hazrat Sarah was about 90. In this old age also he gave a boy, Ishaq alayhi salam. So, but this decision of who will reproduce, who will have how many children, these are all against in the hands of Allah. The law of reproduction is there. That these males and female meet and they come. But this law is controlled by and regulated by Allah. So this theory of Newton that all is mechanical, of course it is all mechanical, but even in the mechanical, the working of God is visible. In each and everything you will find that how Allah is making controlling this. So this now the second, which I had spoken last time also, the second worse than the Newton mechanical machine concept is the Darwin. In case of Darwin, at least you can believe that, okay, God has made a machine and maybe he slept, and according to that mechanical concept, some people that God, we don't believe like that, but some people can think. But it is called deism. Deism is uh, you believe there is a God, but he is sleeping. He made the machine and the machine is working by itself. And now, but they accept God. Because they accept God, we call it deism. But as I have explained earlier, this God is not sleeping. Allah has said in this Ayatul Kursi, La ta'khuzuhu sinatun wa la nawm. And also he has said that Wala yudu hizuma. That Allah never gets sleep, never, Allah never gets short sleep or strong sleep, or Allah never gets tired. Allah is 24 hours looking after the entire universe. Allah yuduhu hizama, and he is not tired of controlling and safeguarding this entire universe. These are thinking as per the Ayatul Kursi, which is clear. Not many verses of Quran like this. But in case of Newton, at least you can believe one God that who made the machine of the universe. But in case of Darwin, there is not at all any concept of God. Not even that concept that he made the law of evolution. All Darwinists don't think that the evolution, if evolution has any truth, then it can be how the truth came, how that law of evolution came into being. If there is no law of evolution, who made this law? They are not ready to think. They said, oh, it is all becoming automatic. From this to that to that, from one species to another to another. That is going on. This is what they call natural selection. This, in this way, from one species developing into another, there are some mutant, some changes in this species, and because of those changes, it becomes a different species, then a different species. It goes on like this. Everything is going automatic. If whatever is going, suppose it is going automatic, but why it is going in that way automatic? And why this automatic mechanism has developed in that way? Why it has not developed in any other way? If this automatic system has developed just by chance, and there is no concept that why this atomism is there. If it is by chance, then everything will be very haphazard, and the entire universe will have no meaning if everything is from by chance. By chance, this monkey became chimpanzee and chimpanzee became human, all by chance. Why they are following such a law, if there is any such law? If it is by chance, then by chance many things could happen. They would have all been killed, they would have all been fighting with each other, and there will be no existence of anybody. In the entire universe, it is all by chance. This day and night will not be there. If there is no law for the sun to move, that one day by chance it will come by start from the west and go into the east instead of going from east to west. Sometime it will go from north to south. Sometime it will come from south to this. By chance, it can go anywhere. And by chance, it can have, if it is not a definite path, Sakhara Shams wal Khamar, if it is not like that, a part made by Allah, then many things it will have a clash with earth, it can have clash with moon, all these stars and galaxies, they can clash with each other if they are not committed to a certain path on what path they have to move. So similarly, in the Darwin's theory, if it is all by chance and it is all by automatic, then it can be haphazard. Why that law is following a certain way, that out of one species, if it is true, I'm assuming, I'm not talking that it is true, I'm telling just for the sake of argument, even if it is true, then the existence of law shows that there is some lawmaker. And without a lawmaker, how something can come into existence? So this is the worst thing which the Darwin has given. And as a matter of fact, there is a lot of contradictions, and he is himself accepting that there are laws. For example, he says that on one place, Darwin writes, in other words, he says that as generally in, in geography, no species or genus occurs in two very distant localities without being also found in intermediate places. So, in geology, the life of a species or genus has not been interrupted. In other words, now see what he says. In other words, no group or species has come into existence twice. No group and no species can be twice. That is what we are calling uniqueness. He is admitting the uniqueness in a species, that no species can be two. Every species is unique. And he is admitting. In our case, we said everything is unique. Every living being, every creature of God is unique. That is much more. But at least for the species, he is accepting that no species has come into existence twice, only once. So this, why they are only once, why they are not twice, why they are not thrice, four, 5 times? Who had made this law that there should be only two? There should be only one time. Who has made this law that it should be unique? You should accept God, that this law has been made by God. Otherwise, and they will not be only unique. They will come not only twice, they can become three times, 4 times, 100 times, if nobody is controlling them. He is accepting, but he is not ready to accept God. That God is made such law that the no species will be twice. He has not made that law. Now again, he speaks of so many laws. in the living world, in this biology. As a second law, he speaks that every species has come into existence, coincident both in space and time, with a pre-existing closely allied species. Now, to prove his evolution, he has found this law. This law may be true. So, in this law, he says that every species, new species that has come into being, it has come because of a pre-existing. There was some other species which was before this new species. There was some other species, and it is the new species that has come is just a changed form of the same, but in a new form. It has made many changes. That is how he wants to prove that just see, there is evolution because this new species is very much similar to the other. And he cannot prove exactly it is how. Just because there are two similarities, there are many things allied with each other with a pre-existing. Therefore, it may be evolution. There is theory. It is not a fact. Just he has seen two species. They have many similarities. Because he found similarities, he saw that they are pre-existing. So, and this says this is a law. Okay, if it is a law, then who made this law? Here again, and he is not ready to accept the lawmaker, Allah, God. Like this, and you can find, we find many other his examples. Here, one more example he gives that the law of population of species. What is this law of population of species? It is that the general proportion that must obtain between certain groups of animals is readily seen. Large mammals cannot be abundant as the small ones. The carnivora must be less numerous than the herbivora. Eagles and lions can never be plentiful as pigeons and antelopes, and the wild asses of Tartarian deserts cannot equal in numbers the horses of the more luxuriant prairies and pampas of America. He says there are two kind of species, I mean two kind of animals. One is a large animals, others are the small animals. Among the large animals, some of them are meat eating, they eat meat, for whom he called carnivora. And there are some animals who mainly take vegetables or small things, or herbs. To them they call it herbivora. There are two kinds of animals, carnivora and herbivora. Okay. But now he says there is one law. What is that law? That this small herbivora are these animals which are don't eat meat, they eat only vegetable and things like that. They are plentiful, they are many. But carnivora like lion or eagle also kills some small bird and it becomes its food. So there is the meat of the bird is the food of the eagles. So therefore such animals are not many. Their number is always small. Like this wild asses in some places, very wild asses, they are usually small in number, but horses in many areas of America, there are many, many horses because the horses don't take meat. So now he says this is a law that the herbivora, those animals who are taking herbs and grass and like this, vegetables, they are plenty. And those who are this, they cannot be more. Okay, this is a law, but who made this law? Why this law came into being? Who is the lawgiver? Why it is not reverse? If it is all by river, just by chance, just by and without any lawgiver, so why he cannot does not accept the lawgiver when he accepts the law? How the law can come into existence? These are his examples. One more example which he has given is that about the birds. Very few birds produce less than two young ones each year. Each pair produces young only 4 times in their life. That will be able, that will also be below the average. Supposing not to die either by violence or want of food. He has earlier said that each pair produces young only 4 times in life, and usually many have all these have usually have 6, 8, or 10 children. They have the capacity to in the whole year they can produce 6, 8, or no. In 1 year they produce children 4 times, and in every time they can produce, usually they produce 6 or 8 or 10. But he says that suppose they are producing only 4, and with that 4 he makes the calculation, and he says that in 15 years each pair will produce 10 million. Then he gives another this that if the number would really amount to more than 2,000 millions. If they produce this 6, 8, or 10, then in 15 years, those birds will be many thousand millions. But he says there is a law which is controlling them. And what is that law and how they are being controlled? He does not accept the lawmaker, but he says there is a law. What is the law? That while the one child is produced, 2 of them die. And this is a law. So because they are produced, but a majority dies for anything. So why this proportion that the dying are more than what is being production? So therefore always their number remains under control. So who is controlling this? Who is controlling the number of birds, which is should be how many and how many should die and how many should live? So you should have to accept Allah. You should have to accept God. So in all these examples, the working of Allah is very clear, but He is not ready to buy, and automatically it is happening like that. Automatically it is happening like that. This type of things they are being tell. And another one more law he is talking about. Conclusion. This is his conclusion, and it will be probably my conclusion also. This point is that every species has come into existence coincident both in time and space with a pre-existing closely allied species. This is the same thing which he has told earlier also, that every species which is coming into existence, new species, it is somehow related to or very much near to some other species which was existing earlier. But he says it is a law. And here what he says about the law is very interesting. Granted the law and many of the most important facts in nature could not have been otherwise. He said this law must be there. Had this law not there, then it would have been very strange. It could not have been otherwise. It should be. The law is compulsory. I don't know why it is compulsory, but he said there should be some. It is a compulsory. There should be such a law, but are almost as necessary and are the. This law is as perfect as are the elliptic orbits of the planets from the law of gravitation. As all the planets are moving on a certain fixed way, وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, everything is also moving and under some control. So this is also control of the species and their movement and their growth and becoming new and this and that. They are also controlled by this law and some other laws which he has said earlier. So these are all controlled by some law, and there must be such a law. And he says it could not have been otherwise. There must be such a law, otherwise it would have been different. So that is what I say, that this is what we are saying, that such a law, how it can exist without Allah. Allah has very clearly said in Surah Mulk, تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو اللذيذ الغفور الذي خلق. I'm forgetting everything. الذي خلق سبع سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. The translation of these verses of Surah Malik, Surah Mulk, is that full of blessings, Almighty as well as who created seven heavens, one above the other. You will not see any fault in the creation of the merciful. You will not see any fault. Turn up your eyes. Do you see any flaws anywhere? In the creation of Allah, no flaws. Look up again and yet again. You look again and again, what? Your look will return to you disappointed and wearied. If you try to find any law, anything wrong, anything fault, anything not, you will find that you are not finding anything wrong. This is what the Darwin says, that there could not have been otherwise. And this law is a must. Whatever law he says is a must. It should have been there. But why should it have been? Who would have made this one? We also say the same thing, that there is nothing here which is anything imperfect. Everything Allah has made perfect and proper, and you cannot find any flaw. So all these laws which he said, these are laws, these are all made by Allah. And why you do not deny Allah and say this is all automatic? How all these laws can become automatic? So these were the greatest wrong thought, and that is just start religion during the last 200, 300 years. Even now it is prevailing. Most of the people who have gone away from the churches in Europe and America, so many churches are deserted. Muslims are buying them and making mosques there because they have lost faith in Allah. They think there is no need of God. Without God, the whole universe working. Without God, everything is developing. All living being going on, creature, this, that. So these three ideas of Darwin, they say this is the most revolutionary idea, but the most effective and mostly, and in America there are a lot of a fight between the religious people and the Darwinists. So about this fight and these things, maybe I may talk something in the next video. And today I finish on this thing that these two ideas of everything going mechanically, automatically, without a guard, which came from Newton and then again from Darwin in a most very bad way. These two are taking away our concept of God. And Allah therefore shows that not only the species, everything Allah has made unique. And he also says, in case of species, every species is unique. So how they become unique? That is what we say. That Allah has made them unique. So this is a strong argument, uniqueness, which Allah has given us through the example of mountains. Just see the colors of the mountains, and these different colors show that every mountain is unique, and no other mountain in the entire world will be available with the same color, with the same scheme which you find at one place. In Peru and Argentina, they are so colorful mountains. They are called rainbow mountains. I spoke you earlier in some other previous videos. So this argument of uniqueness, which Allah has pointed us out with the difference of colors in mountains and human beings and other things. So this argument of uniqueness, even Darwin is admitting that in case of species, they are unique. No two species are same. So when you are admitting all these things, why you want to deny God? How it can be automatic without a lawgiver, without a law, without a God? This is what the whole purpose of today's lesson. Inshallah, we'll discuss more things next time. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين